Welcome back to A Few Minutes in Voice. Today I'll be sharing the latest news in voice development, reviewing the latest Alexa skills, and sharing some pointers for expanding your brand with voice. So as far as news goes, the January Features Roundup was released, and it's an email that goes out for the Alexa Skills Kit, and it shows you what type of enhancements there are to the actual SDK. One of the ones that launched here for January is the Alexa hosted skills, which is now in beta, and it's to reduce complexity with skill building, but there's really a lot to this and a lot that you can't do whenever you're building these skills through the hosted skills beta. And you'll notice that if you're inside the developer console and you look up, you'll see like build, code, distribution, stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. They also pushed in-skill purchasing directly to the dev console, which is nice, and it's very easy to actually set that up. I was able to go in there, click a few buttons, and get things ready to rock and roll. But the problem with that is still yet, you're going to have stuff on the AWS side of the house. It's going to need to be configured, and the code's going to actually need to be there. So I haven't really ventured into that as far as pushing anything out that's live, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of it, and also, you could do that. Improved interaction model with utterance profile. Now you can see how your skill selects intents and slots across the building process. This is actually pretty cool. I used it a couple times because I was having issues, like whenever I said yes, and I was able to determine what was happening whenever I was saying yes. And I thought that was actually really cool, a really cool feature. That's pretty much about it, but there is going to be an upcoming webinar on the 6th of February at 10 a.m., and it's entitled What's New in the Alexa Skills Kit, and you can actually register for that right now. It's going to be the overall recent releases to the Ask features, guidance on how to leverage these features to build or update skills, and then live coding showcase to feature these features in action. So if you wanted to register for that webinar, I'm going to probably have that linked up as well. So just be mindful of that, and you'll be able to get that link in the episode description. So I reviewed one skill that I thought was actually really cool, and it was called My Spaceship, and I got an email from the guys over at Robot Radio, and the first thing I want to say is that I don't believe they configured their cores inside S3. It does not display the image through the actual web browser, and that's a common problem. Some people forget to go in and configure their cores. And the guidance for configuring the cores is actually located right on the page where it tells you how to instill skill cards into your skills. So I'll have that linked up as well too, so you can go back and take a look at that. But essentially, that was the only thing that I seen out of place with this skill. As far as presentation goes, it's a very interesting skill as far as you start it up and you're trying to become a captain of a spaceship, and there's 60 different scenarios to go through, and they're more or less almost like would you rathers for space. Like, this one guy wants to go to this planet and mine this planet. Do you think that's a good call? Or this slave trader ship is approaching you, and do you want to trade with them? Yes or no? It's things like that. It's kind of sociological things to think about. I thought it was a great skill. It's available in all 5 English-speaking regions. It performed very well on display devices as well as non-display devices. They put a picture up there. They had their name inside the skill cards, which was really cool. And just looking at the thing here on the website, it says that they improved sound effects, improved AI obedience, and added several new scenarios. And one of the things that was really cool was it actually asked me if I could leave it a review. It was like one of those impromptu things in there. I think that's good. but now with the actual voice reviewing feature that's going to be pumped out, that might be overkill. So if you get that traffic, and this is the first I've ever heard of this, if you get the traffic that you need, eventually whenever you're done using that skill, it's going to prompt you to leave a voice review. And then whenever you go back to your companion app, it's going to say, hey, do you want to leave a more detailed review? So just keep that in mind. So you may not want to, keep poking the bear too much as far as, hey, leave me a review. Hey, leave me a review. The sound effects were great. Stories are pretty interesting. And also you can pick up and come back right where you left off. And that's a huge thing, session management. You have to have that. If you don't have that, you're kind of peeing in the wind. So just keep that in mind. So as far as enhancements go or expanding your brand with voice, we were actually able to decipher the video flash briefing conundrum. And if you would like any of that information, we're going to have our email address linked up in the skill description, or the episode description. I don't know why I keep on saying skill description. Funny. But anyhow, guess it must be just force of habit. But if you're interested in expanding your brand, seeing how to do a video flash briefing and how to configure yours to do the same, we will go ahead and provide you with that necessary information. Just click on the email address and reply to us in regards to the video flash briefing option in the episode description. And in addition to that, I have one more thing I want to cover. There is actually an excellent article that was linked up on LinkedIn, and it was called, Why is my Alexa Flash Briefing playing more than one episode at a time? And it walks you through, and the guy's name is Eric Olson, and I've decided to follow him. He's a digital marketer, CEO, podcaster, and he wrote a hell of a good article on why the flash briefings are essentially failing and why it pulls like 1 to 5 unique feeds depending on how often the person listened and whatnot. So with that being said, if you go through here, it actually shows you how to create your own unique RSS feed via Zapper, and it shows you how to open up an account and do all these little things. So my intent would be to have one RSS feed that would do both audio, video, and maybe even text flash briefing, and that's what the end user would get. But essentially, through the Zapper, you would get 3 RSS feeds combining into one, and then spitting out that URL for you to paste in the flash briefing manager on the dev portal. Now, see, the cool thing, now that's the cool thing right there, but I think Amazon's already starting to experiment with this, because if you try to create a flash briefing in the UK, you will see that there's like 2.5 options there. There's text, and then there's audio and video. So check that out next time you're screwing around with the flash briefings. Select UK, scroll down, and then you can see those 2 little things there as well. As always, our phone number and email address will be linked up in the episode description, so please reach out to us via those channels. And in addition to that, don't forget to leave us a review wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on Podbeam. Don't forget to find us online, whichever social medias you contribute to: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all of them. So please hit us up there. Questions, comments, and concerns. Thank you, and have a great night.